Okay, so here you see this is the massive lid, 30-ton lid for a box. This is one of the ones that was never finished. And we should take our time in here. So this is one of the Serapeum boxes. At a guess, I would say 50 tons, the lid and the box itself. And then when you look at the hieroglyphics, you'll notice that they're of a cruder quality than the surfaces of the box itself, which shows us the hieroglyphics were added later. This is one of the bigger ones. This is more like 80 to 100 tons. And it's not finished. So which I never noticed before. So this one was moved in position and the lid was put on, but it was never completely finished. Because the finished ones have a very glossy, glass-like surface. Yep. Yeah, they had to drop it down into place. Bad boy. Okay, and then here is the box. The lid that you saw in the hallway is the lid for this one. Again,
Wow. What's that?
I guess one of the admins are the content creators for Black Artists United. So I did share my post on there, but they shared it again from the same group, Black Artists United.
That's who did it. So make sure you thank her.
Rose did that? Oh.
You can see who posted it. Yes,
Well,
so make sure you thank her.
how is she an
She
admin
joined the
for...
group. I don't know. She finagled her way in there. But just make sure you thank her. That's dope. Whether it's a stranger or somebody you know, it's still dope.
Yeah, it's still dope. Like I said, this shit is hitting off right now, yo. A lot of people liking that shit.
I saw a couple people say, "Oh, I want that."
Like I said, I've been apprehensive for years to paint it because I don't know. I don't want people to think it's silly or oh, you're just some stupid pothead. Like, no, I'm a serious artist, yo.
She takes a picker, and in that picture is this EP.
It don't matter because we're gonna support.
You should take all my artwork seriously, yo. But that's what's up, yo. Now instead of heart, I gotta put care. Because I know that's the homie.
Yeah. I was like, huh? My bad.
Those projects understand the power of consciousness, and that the Rosetta Stone of contact has to do with these protocols. They were not happy that we were doing this.
I mean, like I said, I'm not surprised at all that people love it so much, but it is one of those like controversial pieces. Same thing with the Tojo. Like I wasn't sure how people were gonna react, and either you loved it or you hated it. But even if you hated it, you had to admit that shit was dope.
At least admit that the technical prowess of it is good. Like this shit looks nice. Now, if feet ain't your thing, and if weed ain't your thing, and if wood grain ain't your thing, I get it. If you like hands and birds and carpet,
then that shit ain't got nothing for you.
This is such a good picture of you too.
You really did get a good picture, babe.
I always get good pictures, don't I?
Got my titty meat hanging to the side.
Arms looking all big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's why I always take more than one picture, because every time we ask somebody to take a picture of us and they take one picture, what does it look like? Either we're high or I'm looking the other direction.
Eyes half closed or shit.
Right. I'm like, just take 10 of them, one more word. Shaman said, what up, what up?
Yo, what it do, bro?
He's over here basking in all this positive energy and all this love and shit.
Yo, hey, bro, that last painting I finished, man, that shit going crazy on the interweb.
The interweb. He's a local celebrity.
Local famous. 1, 2, 3, I got to look. Local famous over here, yo. People already asking for prints and shit. So, this week, before the week is out, I gotta hit up my man at the print shop and see if I can get, like, I'll probably do, like, 10 prints real quick.
And, I mean, of course, I think gamers and smokers love this, but, like, for me, it's not even that. It's literally the details on the Swisher pack and the colors in the ashtray and on the rolling tray.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like the rainbow colors that are just like, wow.
That shit do pop like hell, yo.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Even if you're not a gamer, like, I could care less about the games, but just because of that, I'm like, oh shit, like, I want a print of that shit. That shit is hot. And it's different, too.
What you talking about, Willie? You went in here yesterday, Shaman? I finished that painting, bro. Got that shit done. So I got this finished up, and I posted pictures on my social media. I got 2 Facebook pages and my Instagram page. So I put it up there, and it's like getting just total positive feedback. Like, people are raving over this shit right now, yo. Everybody loves it, yo. Everybody is really enjoying this piece right now.
Where you got it?
I'll get it right here. But I finally got all the little details in there. Surgeon General's warning: tobacco use increases the risk of infertility, stillbirth, and low birth weights. These are cigarillos, smooth, slow burning. Swisher Sweet classics. Then I got me some organic hemp, raw, natural rolling papers and some gum tips. Yeah, man. And then there's like I'm a member of several art groups online, but I really don't post to them anymore because for some reason it don't really seem to like lead anywhere. But there's one art group that I still post to like consistently. Black Artists United. I'll post up there because there are some cool artists in that group. Lately, there's been like a lot of graphic like sexual art that people have been posting, and now since people have done it so much over the past couple months, they made Freaky Fridays. And so if you got some erotic art or some sexual art, just wait till Friday to post it.
To probably post it, yeah.
But other than that, like,
we were talking about this morning, where you like you wanted to paint more of me, and I was like, I wouldn't mind seeing something of us, because how often do you see, like I said, multiple people, especially when it's like a couple of people?
Yeah, and that's my thing too. Like, I definitely need to do more paintings with more people, and I think the most people I've ever painted in one image is like 5 people, 4 or 5 people.
Imagine painting like a classroom full of kids.
Some shit like that, yo. But then it's so hard to even organize that many fucking models.
No, it's not. When you do the fucking teen summit. Oh, give me some. Tell me I'm not the shit for that.
That's nice. But that shit is like dragging out. Danya came up with this great idea of bringing back the team summit and sitting down and talking with kids about social media and how social media influences them and their representation of themselves on social media. That's a great debate topic, but like, I'm ready for it, but nobody wants to fucking set shit up. And I'm honestly really thinking that I'm gonna just ask Rose, can I do it with her kids over at the center? And that'd be our first trial run.
Your first trial run. You can record that shit. And you can get some like still pictures so you could just have some shit to paint.
Yeah, I would have to have everyone's consent though.
You gonna do that anyway.
Yeah.
Cause it's
Yo, that
kids.
shit is hot, right, bro? Yeah, that shit hot. Appreciate it, man. Goddamn, I bust my ass for the last week or so trying to get that shit done. Kind of nervous that I wasn't gonna get it done in time because I want it to be dry enough for me to show. But I feel like I have 2 weeks into the show, so that should be plenty of time for it to dry and for me to get a varnish and get it wired up and everything. The other one, the movie night, that shit probably dry enough already to varnish.
Yeah, that'll be a nice film too.
Yeah, varnish that shit and put a wire on it.
Damn, you did do numbers on Instagram, babe.
What it is?
Wow. You got almost 200 likes in less than, and this is just on the picture. This not the real.
Oh, damn.
In less than 24 hours.
But that's where I kind of peak at though, like 200-300 likes. I really don't push past.
But that's the thing. That's how you know people are really viewing your shit, because look at this reel of, this was when you were still painting it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the food caught my attention too. The food looked good, but people stayed and watched.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
And you got over 2,000 views on this reel. And look, 70 likes and 10 comments. But that's the thing. You can tell people watch, they just don't say shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you weren't even done yet, and people were already loving this shit. 2,196 views.
Damn.
Right, that's your highest reel. The one of the Akira got almost 2,000 views. 60 views short. The gym videos are up in the 1700s. But yeah, that last one, when you were painting this painting, you got over 2,000 fucking views on your reels. Real, and that's how I know, like, people are definitely fucking watching.
What do you just come looking for?
That's what I was gonna say. What are you doing right now? That was one of your most liked. Todro was actually one of your most liked.
174.
That's a lot.
I can tell you no
'Cause,
lie,
like,
yo. My
this
nudes,
one-
my nudes are like my highest
Do
views.
feet
Bro.
count as nudes?
Kinda.
I guess. It's not.
Yo, Cash, what up? He said, "Show that PlayStation pic, please. You got somebody who want to see it? Tell them to get close to the TV. Or close to your phone, whatever you watching this shit on." Cash man, like, yo, you gotta see this shit, man. My homie just did this one painting, nigga. He put the PlayStation controllers in that shit, man. Yo, Trap, yo, show the PlayStation painting, man. Watch out, dude.
Ironically, your most liked picture is the one.
What is that? How many?
This is from the birthday show. People gonna like the one of you. But
Look at Nani's painting. Honestly, I think that might be my highest, like, piece, yo. Just because it's a new painting, yo.
yeah, no, I saw your two new paintings. She's not the only nude one. The other nude girl got a lot of likes.
How many? Like, they
And
went up
this
to,
one
like,
got
the
almost
300 or 400s. Yeah, like,
This
that's
one
where...
got almost 400.
I think that's where I peaked at, yo. Like, I've never had one image on Instagram that goes past 500 likes.
This is a video, so this doesn't count, because this only has 430 views, and that doesn't beat your other reels.
No.
So, I gotta see.
I know, like I said, it's just because it was a new,
Yeah.
it was a new painting, and the first time I did the gold leaf, like, it's a really good painting, and a lot of people like hit that shit. I was like, damn,
I like that new shit.
yeah, they like,
The other one that you had of the girl.
but that's
with
not
hair,
like my go-to shit. I don't mind painting nudes, and I want to do more nudes, but that's not like my go-to shit.
These are tied.
Yeah, how many that one got?
540 versus like 560.
That's 540 on there.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Like, that's because it's picking up. People are going
And
through
that's
my
what
whole
I'm saying.
list
I feel
now.
like this one's older, so like them being off, I would say that they're equivalent, because this one is much older than the other one, and it don't got the gold leaf. But yeah, the new one's definitely. Got
They
the gold
all
leaf.
something about people just love nudes, yo. But if you can
Well,
do it,
this one got like a 500.
if you can do it tastefully, I was
This
looking
is
at
more tasteful for me. Like this is.
because you don't. She's naked, but you don't really see anything, yeah.
I mean, Nani's painting is still nice too. It's just like it's kind of more in your face than the other one.
Yeah, just boobs.
It's just more in your face
Yeah.
than the other one.
And then the other girl I did Actually, first the one in the mirror, it looks like it's two people, but she's just sitting in the mirror. But that one never got a lot of likes on it though. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I mean, I like the gold on this one. Like, it's not even that.
I
though.
really
Like,
think
it's
that's
like the
what,
gold
yo,
of the
that gold and how that shit look like it's glowing, yo. Like, that shit is just hot, yo. People really gravitated towards that piece, yo. And then, like I say, since it is such a large nude, I don't really show it a lot of places, like, especially in, like, group shows or something. You know, there'd be kids coming out and stuff. And so I've only showed it, like, twice. It's only been out the house one time at that show that you had for me, and then people came here to see it doing my show, but that's it. Nobody never really seen that shit, and that shit is years old now. It's like 2-3 years old.
That's because the show I got for you was your show.
Exactly. So I feel more comfortable. That's why I asked this gallery, like, can I show what I want to show? I don't
Are
want
you
to.
showing nudes at this place?
No, but it's gonna be a lot of weed pics, and I don't want to like bring anything in there. And they be like, oh well, we don't feel comfortable with that. Just like when Z tried to. When I brought my painting to the thing, and she's like, well, we better ask them because you're topless. And I'm like, see, like, that's how I know, like, certain places not for me.
Yeah.
Certain places just not for me.
Yeah, as soon as they said that, I was like, okay. To each their own, but okay.
Oh, it has the word shit in it. Alright, whatever, yo. I'm good.
Are you shitting me right now?
Yeah. I'm good on that, man. I ain't even pressed. I ain't asked to come here. Somebody invited me here. I'm good, yo. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, bro. Like, even the little lines that go through the C's. Yeah, but that shit done. Shit done, son. Matter of fact, I got a bad habit of not signing my shit, yo. I need to go ahead and whip this shit real quick. So I finished it yesterday, which was the 17th of October. I fucked that up. I fucked my P up somehow. It's all good. Somebody gonna look at this shit in 50 years, 60 years from now and be like, that's not his signature. And they're gonna try to analyze it. And they're gonna try to find this footage to verify that it is the legit original painting and that is my signature because someone's trying to buy it for like $82 million, but they want to make sure it's legit. But it's like, oh, that P, he fucked that P up. Then it might make it even more valuable because the P is fucked up and it's like, yo, this is like one of those times he fucked his signature up, yo. I want one of those. Yo, I talked to a couple people who say the same thing, yo. I don't get notifications. I hit the bell. I don't get.
Either.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what to tell y'all.
Like, it'll come up in your main feed, but like instead of coming up like with your subscriptions, like normally it'll like give you like the no notification.
Yeah, I don't.
It doesn't, but it just comes up in the feed instead.
I don't know what the fuck that shit be going on, yo. Like, my videos don't. I don't know. They don't hit the algorithm right. Y'all don't need to be notified of this bullshit. Y'all don't need to be notified.
Does this play on?
Yeah.
Look at that though. That should look better than the original raw pack. I'm just saying. Should look better.
So these two gonna fuck them up at that show, yo. I already know. Like, they gonna be like, what the fuck kind of still lifes these? What the?
But both of them, like the one is just like the
Yeah,
drape.
see, that's
like,
what I don't like.
How'd you paint ice in a drape? It's like the skill. Like, even if you don't like it, it's the skill. And who doesn't like Ghost in the Shell? Who don't like the good green ganja?
Yo, this shit gonna fuck people up right here, yo. Watch. I already know. That's why I gotta do one more. I meant to use my cousin's Oculus Rift, yo. He has the Oculus Quest. Yo, he had that. I meant to take some pictures with that shit, yo. That shit'd be hot in the still life. Have like a couple different kind of VR headsets showing the future of gaming. Yeah.
Wow. Netflix's Squid Games, which cost $21.4 million to make, will reportedly generate $900 million in value.
Motherfucker went.
Hwang, whatever his name is, Hwang something.
That nigga paid.
He ain't never gonna work again. Now he was writing this shit in between making them other bullshit movies.
Yeah.
Yo, he's set for life. Hwang don't never gotta work.
He said, I got that one that hit. Boy, I got that hit. A $21 million investment. 900 million.
Oh, he's
Damn.
rich.
900 million.
I mean, he can live anywhere. Like, he's from South Korea, but he can go anywhere he wanna go right now.
Yeah.
I want a house in America. I want a house in South Korea.
That's already know, like, just, you do, go to Instagram and do hashtag Squid Games, like, all the art, like, this shit captured so many people. Like, the art, just the fan art behind this shit is fucking ridiculous. You can't hardly scroll.
They're gonna want him to make something else anyway. Like, just his name alone. Like, he's gonna get so many deals and, like, sponsorships, like, for the next 2-3 years. His face is gonna be on everything. Or his name.
I wonder if somebody done put together a little Squid Game documentary about this dude already. You probably found something about that shit.
I mean, shit, I had to go look up who he was. I don't remember anything else, but I know his name was H. Wayne. I really like the actors that he chose, too. All of his actors were like, if they were first-time actors, you couldn't tell.
Yeah, everybody played the hell out their role, yo.
Wow, it says Bloomberg show the figures show 132 million people watched at least 2 minutes of the series during the 23 days after it launched. Netflix reportedly estimates that 89% of people who started the show watched at least one episode. The nearly 900 million impact value does not reflect how much revenue the show generated. It is an internal metric used by Netflix to value a show that is based on a range of different benchmarks, which include how many viewers watched, who watched, and how long they watched. It beat Bridgerton. Topping 111 million viewers globally since its September 17th release. Bridgerton only reached about 82 million. But Netflix did pay to produce it, and reportedly cost Netflix just $21.4 million to produce. So it's like, did y'all pay to produce this version with like the voiceovers and shit? Or did y'all just put him on?
You didn't see it? Hey, it's actually worth it, bro.
That's what somebody just said. Whoever turned that man down, his writing and stuff down is punching the air right now.
Ooh, motherfucker.
That sounds stupid.
God
What's a Squid Game? Yep. I know it's like one of those cliche things, but it's actually worth watching.
And that's why, like, it really has captured everybody's attention because it's a weird, it's a really unique story. And that's hard to do. We've been telling stories for 10,000 years, bro. You can't tell any more stories. But it's like, kind of like a coming of age decision. Like, I mean, the basic plot is is you've seen something like it, but you've never seen anything like this. You've
And
never
I
seen.
feel like it was suspenseful.
Yeah.
There was fighting and
The action,
and nudity,
yeah,
action,
the suspense,
drama,
everything, the conflict, the character build, because over
like he was
over the
being nice to the
episodes,
old man, and then
yeah,
other
then
people betraying other people.
yeah, and then how the chick, her character had this arc where she was just like, I don't know, she was just trying, everybody was trying to do whatever they can to win the games, but like some of the characters, and then the one dude you thought was cool, he wound up shitting the other dude at the end to kill this motherfucker. It's like, yo,
Right, and then people that
you need to go out or
were gonna
something,
die,
or you just
died.
want loving.
She just want loving. She needs a WAOK, but I got all my work done today, so now tomorrow I can focus on this upcoming week.
You said 6 new ideas. That's the thing though. That like I said, man, writing it's hard to write, yo. But if you're a writer, you know a good story, and it's a really good story. It's a twist to it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, boo, why?
There's hand sanitizer.
Yeah, but why?
But why you ain't stop her? Because your reaction time is.
I'm trying to get her whatever she wants, but damn, you just going on and on and on.
And then now you sneezing.
And on
What's
and
wrong?
on and on and on. It's like, okay, Jesus Christ, you not tired of licking my fucking head?
No, because she didn't see you all day. She's been here with me.
What is sanitizer?
I'm so dead. Oh, I gotta go check that. She gone.
And then Dave Chappelle said he had a twist on Apocalypto that nobody would ever think about. Yo, he was like, yo, if I was still making sketch comedy, I got a twist on that movie that'll be so fucking funny that nobody would ever see the punchline coming to that shit, yo. There you go. The artist currently known as. One more time.
One more time.
Cause she got me good, like.
She got you good. What else you want besides rice?
Chicken and rice.
That's all? You don't want no vegetables?
Yeah, you can get some vegetables, some string beans.
I don't have no fresh string beans.
You can get them out the can. You'll be alright. You gotta use up some of the reserve rations and replace them.
I know, but I've been making them fresh green beans and
it ain't the
asparagus
same no more now.
No fresh broccoli.
You be spoiling yourself too much.
Who I be spoiling?
You. You spoil yourself.
Huh?
Me.
Oh.
Alright. Yo, somebody said they were shopping somewhere and the grocery store didn't have any water or milk. And they was like, is something happening that I should know about? I'm like, shit, I don't know.
Honestly, it depends because our local store be like literally desolate like 2 or 3 days out the week, and then the rest of the time it'd be plentiful. It could just.
I ain't got my fucking armrest. Y'all seen that? Damn.
Here.
I'm good.
But you know what? I do need to get some stuff. We need eggs and milk.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You gonna have to move, boo.
Come on, Tuesday. Move.
I need to find this next image and load up some paint. Gonna paint this big head.
Whatever. I was really mugging, like, I'm glad I'm a good photographer. I'm shaking.
Then what's next? Oh, that's done. I can put that in the file.
Yo, that shit is so fire.
Got that to work on. And then this was an option, but I've had this since the first photo shoot and I haven't done it yet, and I don't know. I don't like how she's like pressing her lips too hard.
Yeah, I was about to say, I like her hair and I like the blue scarf that like captures my attention, but the face she's making is like.
I asked her if she wouldn't want to take pictures again, but she's always busy.
Well, I got 2 new models for you, so.
Yeah. And 2 brown skin models. Not hating on the light skin, because I love light skinned women. I really do. That's kind of like my go-to, honestly. But brown skinned women are just as beautiful, and they really need representation. And I kind of feel it sometimes when, like, I don't know, like lighter skinned people will be willing to model, and I'll be like, I want some dark skinned people, yo. Like, but now, like, the next two models are both like chocolate and dark chocolate.
Brown and dark chocolate.
Brown and dark shit.
Milk
Yeah.
chocolate.
Yeah, like milk chocolate and
But
dark
she's your
chocolate.
foot model.
Yeah. But
I'm
she's
cool with
pretty
that.
too. I might
No, she
I
is
might
pretty.
do more than, like, if she wants to do more pictures than just the feet and just to have something, like, I don't know, I might get a good
Or you could
picture.
do a picture of them together. No? You said you
I
wanted to
could
paint more
do a
people.
picture of all three of y'all, yeah. Like I say, the more people in the
Yeah,
picture,
but I'm
yo,
light
you
skinned.
be an
So.
Oreo, nigga.
I know, but I'm light skinned, so I'm
That's
still
something.
black. I'm just saying.
But then that's what I'm thinking too, like, I really need a setup for Rose because I want to do that book.
Yeah, and Rose is gonna be the classy
And I
one.
really want her in some
What are you gonna
good,
do with the
like,
feet?
I was thinking about strawberries or
What about oranges?
I could say a mixture of fruit, like maybe strawberries and oranges or something.
Strawberries and grapes, or oranges or something like that. Cause grapes kind of look good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then,
And
like,
I'm gonna bet money her toes are gonna be white.
but then I'm trying to think, like, where at though, like, cause
You could do it on the same floor, like that
yeah,
way it's
but
part of like the same series.
this is true.
And
I
then
was
do it
thinking, like,
with fruit this
would the
time.
wood grain get old? But then, like you
I
say, you
don't
know,
think so, because it's so unique. And then I think,
yeah,
then it's like, I got a light skinned friend look like Michael Jackson. And then I got a brown skinned friend look like Michael Jackson.
the older the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Oh, well, she blacker than a motherfucker, too. Who, me? You talking about me? Or Rose? But yeah, I don't know. I think the wood grain will look good. And then, the other thing, like I said, babe, I got black toes, or had black toes, but the last couple times I seen her toes been white. So more than likely, like, it'll just be like a nice contrast because you got the light skinned feet with the black toes, and then you got milk chocolate feet with white toes, but both on the wood grain. That shit is hot. Or you could do her shit with the tree too, honestly. But yeah, her feet are really nice. Oh, from Friday.
Babe, can you grab my oh, you great go check the chicken though.
What you need?
I need my iPad. Glennis want her without the words on it. The glowing one without the words.
Okay.
So I can just edit that and just pop that to her real quick. And Rose is going in on this fucking council, yo. Like, that's why I really fucks with her. Like, that's what people don't even know. Like, I don't even think I really tell a lot of people how I met Rose, but, like, we met on the diversity council. We trying to bring and retain more ethnic and minority groups of people in our local county, and there's this organization that's trying to figure out how can we do that, and they need to work with black people. And so she was already on the council, and then somehow this other lady I know pulled me on the council, and then no, I'm good. And it was just me and her on there, but she's dope as fuck, yo. She's all about black people and, like, trying to make the community better, yo. Like, I really fucks with her, yo. But, like, I haven't been in a meeting in a minute. But she was telling me, like, the last meeting she had, she just had to speak up a little bit louder, like, yo, y'all motherfuckers is acting biased as shit. I'm telling y'all what will work and how we can get data and information to see if these programs will work and what demographics of people we need to be working with and where they're at and how to reach them on their own, like, their own turf and shit. And it's like all the white people just keep giving her pushback, and it's like, why is there prune juice but no raisin juice? Bruh, I never thought about that. But that is a very valid question. I've never had raisin juice. But at the same time, well, no, because I already say the raisins are dehydrated grapes, so they don't have juice in it. But a prune is a dehydrated plum, but somehow you can still get juice from the prune. Bruh. Now I gotta figure out a way to make raisin juice. That part. And this part. Like, is that what we have to do just to be like chill and shit? Like, teaching white people, white brown people can't say it. What the hell? But yeah, like, so we got issues around here. Like, this is like the whitest of white areas, and the population demographics is rapidly changing, and there's tons of ethnic people from the uh, Nepalese to the Indians to the blacks to the Spanish to the Asians. Like, everybody's starting to flood into this little area, and the white people don't know how to handle that shit, yo. And this has been going on for like the last 20, 30 years, um, where it's been this rapid growth of ethnic population here. And even now, like in my county, they said that like 99% of the county workers who are involved in any aspect of county government at all are white. Most city officials, like almost 100% of the city officials are white. Uh, the school board, I think there's one black person on the school board. There's in the entire high school system, I think there's like one black teacher. And it's becoming an issue where white people don't know how to handle ethnic people. And so we're trying to teach they ass. And like I say, it's a retention program. And how can we retain minorities? Because they see the turnover rate. And when somebody gets a job in the county or the city or anything like that, like the turnover rate is high as fuck. Because you're the only black person working with like 25 white people all day. And they don't understand like nothing really. And just say like just talking no. Oh, but I ain't got my pencil. Wow, no pencil. Hey, bro, my pencil. And some cookies.
What?
Huh?
I ate them all.
If you can what, you can hear.
I ate all the cookies.
I heard that. I mean, we going to the gym in the morning. Nova said she ate all the cookies, not some or most. She said I ate all the cookies. Well, we definitely going to do some core exercises in the morning. You know how the ice be in the freezer too long and to get that funky freezer ice taste, man. Like now that I'm down to the bottom of the drink and the ice is starting to melt, that's the water from the ice tastes funky. I don't like that. Do I gotta start pouring bottled water in my ice trays? I need to get me a up-to-date fridge with an ice maker that has like the filter and everything on it already. I'm too poor for that shit. I'm too poor for that. Waka waka. Flaka flaka. Where is it at? Ba 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 ba. No. Nope. Got that freezer burn taste to that ice, yo. Cause we got this one ice tray in there that we don't really ever use, and my girl was like, "You need to throw this ice tray away. We don't ever use it." And I'm like, "Don't throw that shit away. I'm gonna use it now." And then when I used it, the ice freezer burn, I should have threw that shit away like she told me to.
Did you stream this?
What? Move.
Oh. What else was I supposed to get?
My pencil.
Oh, I forgot.
Mm-hmm. My job. Thank you.
Move. Oh, you so irky.
Right now, you been aggravating the shit, little girl.
Gotta go to DoorDash for cash. Hold it
I thought somebody just sent me a message.
down. Shout out to you, Shaman.
Yo, Ace. Man, honestly, bro, the PS5. All right, this is hard for me to say, and it might sound bad when I say it, but I still gotta say it. Ain't no other way to say it. I'm not impressed by it yet. The controller. Okay, look. I've been playing video games for 35 years, maybe 32 years. I've been doing this shit for a long time. And now, with just technology in general, we are in the tech era, and our understanding of technology increases year by year, yo. We get a better understanding of how to make chips smaller, how to store more memory, how to make things more sensitive, reactive, how to make screens look more realistic with the color. And so I understand a lot of people are hyped about the new haptic feedback from the PlayStation 5 controller, but that's expected. Like, okay, what else can we do with it? And so the controller is impressive, but at the same time, like it's a year into it and we don't have a PS5 exclusive yet. So, I'm not impressed yet. I have the PS4 Pro, and for the most part, I played Cyberpunk 2077 just fine on the PS4 Pro. And honestly, I still have the Pro I have a PS4 Pro here. I have one in the bedroom, and I have the PS5 in the living room. And I still can't tell the difference because we're playing Life is Strange.
Yeah.
On the PS5 and the PS4. The one thing, and I really haven't sat there with a fucking stopwatch to do the timing for the load screens or whatever. But graphically, there's not a real big difference when you play the game. What do you think? And it's just like, I
like playing it downstairs, but it's not much of a difference.
No, you can't really tell. And so, like I said, until I get a game that's not cross generation, then I'll give my real opinion on like how this shit is, yo.
Who this is?
Adam Sandler?
Who's that though?
Damn.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fucked up.
Alright, so I gotta send this. Oh, that might be the wrong one too. Damn. Mm-hmm.
Yo, babe, this would definitely be us.
I saw that. And she come up and knock the shit. He was like, what the fuck? Oh, girl. I thought it was
But that's the thing, he wasn't even holding the baby right. Like, that baby neck would have been all messed up.
No, this nigga ain't gonna fuck you playing the game.
Why you hold it? I wish you would hold the baby like that.
No, that nigga playing the game. Why you even give me a baby when I'm playing the game, yo?
Or why you hold the baby like that?
Here, baby.
Yeah, hold the baby down here.
Mm-mm.
Not like this.
I can't hold the controller right.
No, you better hold the baby right.
Why you ain't got no
messed up neck.
Put the baby in the carrier.
Set the baby right there. Put him in the car
wanted to chill
seat.
with his dad.
Man, put him in the car seat. That nigga sit right beside me.
He wanted to chill with his dad.
What up, homie?
Wow. Human touch. Wow.
Shit.
Shit.
I don't pick no babies up, yo.
No.
On top, pick a baby up if I gotta change the diaper, yo.
Oh no.
Then I grab him by the legs and yank their ass up like that.
You ain't
Wow!
shit.
Stay still, nigga. Slide that diaper on their fruit, throw their ass back down.
He ain't shit, yo. At least you changed diapers.
Yo, the baby, hey, that cold goddamn diaper white hit their ass, the eyes get big.
I'm so fucking dirty, bro.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, like yeah, motherfucking diaper wipe cold, ain't it, nigga? They get the dookie off your butt, boy.
That's how you get white warmers and all that other shit.
I might get no damn white wall. We can take that cold rag like a man.
What if it's a girl?
Hey, take it like a woman.
Take it like a woman. Take this on your cold ass.
That cold diaper wipe.
That's the thing. You
I
are
get
you
big,
be all bundled up and then you just open them up to
And
the
you
world.
bet not pee on me neither, motherfucker. Yeah, I remember
That's why the fathers get peed on.
Not the last time I went home, but the time before last when I went home, yo, it was me and Chase and Matthew. And I swear to God, yo, I changed both of these motherfuckers' diapers, yo. I changed. They were like babies. And I was like, yo, we was at a bar. And, yo, we just smoked the doobie and then we was having some drinks. And I look at these niggas, I was like, oh my God, you niggas are fucking grown, bro. I remember I changed our diapers. Now I'm like sitting at a bar with these motherfuckers. I was like, that's the first time I like felt kind of old. I was like, what the fuck, yo? That shit is still weird, yo. Like, these niggas is grown-ass men now. I remember, like I said, I used to change your fucking diapers, bro. I was like 14, 15 years old, and you was just a little baby, like a baby. I changed Matthew. Like I said, the summers when I stayed with Aunt Jean, I changed Matthew diapers because I was a babysitter. And Chase, anytime I went over to Aunt Nini's house, changed Chase diapers a couple times. Now these motherfuckers, shit, Chase grown and got kids now. Like, damn, so old as shit, nigga. How I used to change y'all diapers. Now I'm sitting at the bar with y'all talking shit.
Right.
I got one more chance to do that shit, yo. Start out with a little motherfucker, and then a couple years, motherfucker be grown. I be sitting at the bar talking shit with them. They're like, yeah, I used to change the diapers, nigga. I mean, when you was just born, little motherfucker, shit, like you grown as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? Have another shot. This you buy that shit, right, nigga? Shit, I ain't got no money, nigga. I ain't got no money.
What y'all doing? Nothing. Why y'all smell like liquor?
Somebody just weigh something.
He's only 18.
Oh, man.
Now, you know what? Kids got to get that shit out their system when they like 18 anyway. Because I got that shit out my system when I was 18, and now I'll never be an alcoholic.
Like I said, my first time getting slapped drunk, when I was like 16. Never ever want to feel like that again, yo. I don't ever want to feel like that.
Yeah, mine was on my 18th. And never again. I've never been that drunk again.
She only seen me drunk like twice, and I was like just at the point of being drunk.
Oh no, I seen you pissy drunk once. Once.
And then I don't know, man. One time, me and
you
my
were
homie
funny.
was
You
had
were
a
trying
couple.
to talk to people.
Me and my homie sat here and had a couple drinks one night, yo. I wound up throwing up, yo. I didn't even think I was that fucking drunk, yo. But like,
You are
yeah. Yo, I threw the fuck up the
when
one
you was
time.
with who? Chase?
No, when me and Tamara was sitting over here drinking one time, yo.
Didn't you throw up when you had a log island with him too? You ain't never throw up drinking with me. Why? Cause I feed you.
Nah, we was sitting here. We was sitting here drinking, yo. I forgot what I was. Or did we have drink earlier? No.
All I know is that when you had that Long Island, it was not good for you.
I don't know drinking that shit, yo.
Gotta
I
be
say I know myself. I ain't no fucking drinker, yo. I can't handle the drink. I sip a little bit, a couple shots, especially if I'm in the house, I'm good. But if I'm out, man, I ain't trying to drink like that.
Yeah, when we're out, we have one drink, if that.
Man, I piss too much for one. I drink too many beers. I'm pissing like the whole fucking night. I ain't trying to do that shit when I'm out somewhere. It's like, wait, Travis said, oh, you're in the bathroom again. Like, yeah, fuck that shit.
He shitting? Nah.
Nah, he had 3 beers, now he can't stop peeing.
3 beers in the water. Move. What are you doing? You want anything else from downstairs?
More cookies?
More cookies. I heard they're gonna be gone after that. I'm just letting you know.
I ain't at that. I said bring me cookies.
I'm just telling you they're gonna be gone after that because it was a small thing that I made.
Oh, cause you.
No, I didn't, babe. I didn't make like 2 dozen cookies like I normally would.
I understand. I understand. I
And
understand.
yeah, I did eat some.
Cause this ain't no good. That ice was old and it's all like frosted.
That blue ice.
Yeah, that shit tastes
What you
like
want?
a little bit of milk with my cookies.
The conversation never stops.
Okay.
Because there's so many courses that you can go, I like that course.
Are you gonna be hungry for dinner?
Yeah, I would be hungry for dinner.
I enjoyed 7, so
I'm still
I
smoking.
wonder what's up next. It's a good way of keeping things
Alright,
going.
so now we gotta figure out what's what. Okay,
I
this
tried to do
picture is done.
I tried to do this routine
This
in
picture is
Kansas.
done.
Very hard to
2
explain
new still lifes
what a
going
really
in the
good meal's
fucking
like. They couldn't
folder,
wrap their brain around it. I
the
was like,
file
how do you
drawer.
get to those really fancy restaurants? And I went, think about the best meal you've ever had. And then one guy yells out, ribs! And I was like, yeah, ribs are good. But think of a meal that's even better than ribs. And he thought about it and he went, 2 ribs! And I went, yeah! So these restaurants, they're pretentious as fuck, right? Every dish includes a foam, a reduction, and a mousse. And there's always a quail's egg and a truffle. Always with a quail's egg. Why can't they use a fucking chicken egg? Every time I go to the supermarket, I always go to poultry and I'm never like, oh, quail or chicken, what will we eat tonight? Where the fuck are they buying all the quail's eggs? And come to think of it, I'm not sure if I've ever seen a quail. I've never been out and gone, oh, fuck me, the quails are out tonight. Better get the car in the garage, don't want it covered in quails, shit fucking quails. So it's always a reduction.
Damn.
Joaquin Phoenix. You know, I've always liked you. I've been to see your movies. I've always liked you. I recognize you as a powerful talent. The Johnny Cash thing, you were tremendous in that. Thank you. And then a year and a half ago, you come out, and honestly, it's like you slipped and hit your head in the tub. And I knew immediately when you sat down something ain't right, because if you're really the way you appear, you look.
Alright, so I think what I'm gonna do first is really just go over this background one time. That'll be quick and easy, and then I'll feel better going over the main part once I get the background done. So I'm gonna grab some big colors.
So let me just say.
Thank you for letting me come on the show.
Yes, well, we've been dying to have you back a year and a half.
No, I met last time. But this time as well. No, we wanted to make this film.
You who wanted to make
Casey Affleck.
Yeah, right. Who knew about it? Whose idea was it?
Both Rogan.
And the idea being what?
Well, we want to do a film that
so smoky.
I bet it is.
But you have an open experience. I mean, I worry about it. You kind of go, what happens when
Ooh,
the progressives convince
sweet.
Facebook that San Francisco
This ain't our normal
is dangerous?
Fair warning.
That's not outside
It's
the
not our
realm of
normal
possibility at all.
It's sweet.
This thing that you
Why
say
you
about
keep wanting to
silencing
lick
you,
me?
that's not outside the realm of possibility.
What the fuck?
You know, I've seen it. I mean, we were talking about Barry Weiss earlier. She got fucking basically pushed out
Wolf
of
duty,
the
go lay down.
because
Time to let her
of
out again, or no?
this sort of ideology
she was
that's
just
spreading
downstairs.
rampant through journalism. And journalism has become /activism. And then there's this idea that you have to do whatever you can and by any means necessary, push your agenda and silence the oppressors. You know, even if these oppressors are people like you that are just saying, listen, you've got to take a more radical approach to dealing with these ever-growing problems. And one of the ways might be is carrot and the stick. And this idea that you have to give people consequences for their actions and warn people for good actions so we can possibly like build people back up, but we're going to have to do it in a way that's going to make folks uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it seems like two things are going on at once, right? There's definitely this top-down effort at censorship, and including the people like me. In fact, I was censored by Facebook.
You were?
I was.
How so?
When my last book came out, they censored True Facts.
Which book is that?
Apocalypse Never.
This one?
Yep. Yeah,
This
they
is,
censored.
Why Environmental Alarmism Hurts Us All.
Yeah, that came out in June of last year, and I was censored in the article I wrote about it. And now other people that write about climate change are being censored. I will say though, you know, I mean,
How so were you censored? Like, what did you say that was?
they put a like a warning label on the article that was being shared. That was the initial article announcing the book, saying this contains misleading and false information. It's not true. It didn't contain a single piece of false information, and misleading is a really subjective thing, right?
What did you say that they objected to?
The main issues were, I point out that we're not in the midst of a mass extinction. A mass extinction is when 75 or 90% of all species on Earth are extinct or going extinct. In fact, only 6% of species are critically endangered, and most of them should or will survive. The other one is I pointed out that natural disasters are not getting worse. Deaths from natural disasters have declined over 90% over the last 100 years. We're just much better at dealing with hurricanes and floods and you know, non-climate related disasters like earthquakes as well. And so what they respond, you know, on the disasters, they point out that there's some evidence that hurricanes are becoming somewhat more intense, but then they leave out the fact that the best available science predicts that hurricanes will become 25% less frequent, but 5% more intense, North Atlantic hurricanes. But even that doesn't matter because we're just so much better at preparing for hurricanes. So like vanishingly few people die. I think something like in the most recent year, I think 2019, something like 400 Americans died of natural disasters, right? It's like 300, because it was like 300 times more people died of drug deaths in the United States than from natural disasters. I mean, this is how these two books work together. Is me as someone that considers myself liberal or moderate. I used to be progressive. I don't use that label anymore. But my view is the drug crisis is objectively a much bigger threat to human life and to civilization than climate change. Like, we're adapted really well to climate change. We should do something about it. It's real. There are risks associated with it, but like, there's no scenario in the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change of climate change killing 93,000 Americans a year. In fact, there's no scenario of it increasing deaths from natural disasters at all.
Why is it more attractive? Why is that a more attractive talking point? Because this is one of the things that you keep hearing.
Because it's a global
whether
scare.
it's whistleblowers at news organizations where they're saying that climate change is the next thing. They're looking at it according to, you know, these people that are talking about it. They're looking at climate change as the next thing that's going to freak people out enough to guarantee ratings.
Yeesh. Yeah, I mean, I look at so both of these books are similar in the sense that I debunk popular myths, I explain what the solutions are, and then I also explore why it is that, say, the people that say they're the most concerned about climate change oppose the main solutions to reducing carbon emissions or adapting to climate change. Basically, the three things won't surprise you. There's financial interests, there's just sort of a broader will to power, both kind of status and politics, and just kind of, I'm going to jet in the world and tell people how to live their lives.
Which is hilarious and often happens.
Yes. And then the third is religion, and that, you know, the death of God, what Nietzsche called the death of God, which is basically we just stop believing in traditional religions, whether it's Judaism or Christianity or Buddhism, Hinduism. As we stop believing in traditional religions, we still have a fear of death. We still have a need to believe in some higher power, and so we make new religions. And the problem with the new religions, whether it's climate apocalypse,
wokeism,
or victimology, the problem is that the people that are the adherents to those new religions don't think that they're promoting a new religion. They think that they're just being more compassionate, or I'm just being more sensitive, or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're actually more dogmatic than the people in the traditional religions, because, you know, you meet people that have even evangelical views, they'll always be like, well, you know, I am an evangelical Christian, right? So they have some awareness of it. But folks that are, they don't, like, these people don't go, well, I am an apocalyptic environmentalist. What they say is, they go, I'm more aware of the science, or, you know, I just love nature, and I just care about poor people more than you. It's always cast in some sort of highly charged, moralizing framework, you know, which is like this idea, you know, it's like this, the main idea of the folks that have created the disaster in our cities is that they care more. It's the conceit, you know, it's the I just care more than you do. You're just insensitive. Total bullshit, but that kind of appeal to emotion has a lot of power.
Watch the entire episode for free, only on Spotify.
I love connecting with the different people who come and sit in my chair. That's why I read different takes on the issues, like the 360 articles from Yahoo News. That's what I read.
This is Kyle. He invented one wheel to destroy boredom. Turns out he wasn't alone.
It's magic.
Democrats copying COVID rules as the fight over vaccine mandates reaches a critical point. President Biden defying a citywide mandate in D.C. after he and the First Lady were spotted maskless at a ritzy restaurant while Secret Service members were covered up. The White House excusing the behavior this way.
A mask requirement inside DC restaurants, yet President Biden and the First Lady were not wearing masks while walking around a DC restaurant on Saturday. Why?
Well, I think what we were referring to is a photo of them walking out of a restaurant after they had eaten, masks in hand, where they had not yet put them back on yet. So I would say, of course, there are months when we all don't put masks back on as quickly as we should. But I don't think we should lose the forest through the trees here.
President Biden not alone. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot being accused of COVID hypocrisy after posing maskless for a photo at a basketball game. Mayor Lightfoot is locked in a very bitter standoff with police over vaccine mandates after half of the city's 13,000 officers could reportedly be fired if they don't get the shot. Today is also the deadline for Seattle police officers to submit their vaccination status. Here's one police officer. Let's go to this call for right away. A Washington trooper signing out for the last time.
Y'all seen this earlier.
Thank the citizens of Yakima County, as well as my
and then somebody already had
officer
an
in
interview
the
with him.
Valley. Without you guys, I would have been very successful, and you've kept me safe and got me home to my family every night. Thank you for that. Wish I could say more, but this is it. So, State 1034, this is the last time you'll hear me in a state patrol car. And Jay and Z can kiss me.
And so he has now left the building and the police force. Yes.
Did any of these politicians think about attrition? I mean, that's obviously what's going to happen when you slap these vast mandates on these people. Right now in Seattle, they're going to lose, what, 140 officers in the middle of a crime wave, historic. We've already seen retirements there. And we're going into what's called Phase 4 mobilization, Dana, and they only use this during riots. It's when every single sworn officer has to come in 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts, and cover each other's butt. I just don't know how they're going to do that after they've had, what, I think they just shattered a 3-decade murder number last year. They're already on pace to top that. And in Kings County, 80% of drive-bys are Black Americans. So Jenny Durkin, the mayor, Black Lives Matter, don't they? You're going to keep police off the streets in that type of environment? But I can talk about Joe Biden's dinner. Dana, Hunter Biden must have picked up the tab on this thing because this restaurant is even too pricey for Gutfeld. They have a caviar tasting for $250. Then they have something I've never even heard before, the New Zealand scorpion fish for $275. A Dover sole for $115. I've never seen it over $110. And then the guy must have had a lot of cocktails last night because he didn't even show up to work today. Joe Biden had no public events on his schedule today. I hope it was worth it. This is why this guy is so discombobulated. He walks indoors to a DC restaurant with no mask, but does a Zoom call by himself in the White House with a full mask on. That's why this country's so confused about COVID, because he's confused. And then in Washington, D.C., why do they even have a mask mandate? 7-day death average in D.C. is 0. It is 0. Why doesn't the mayor put on a bulletproof vest mandate? More people are dying from bullets than COVID-19.
You live in Washington, D.C.
I do.
Need a mask mandate there?
Listen, I will say that we've done a really good job of getting a good majority of our city vaccinated, so bravo to Mayor LaBonta for that. Listen, and I get it. I think mandates can be annoying. Sometimes they're misleading because one city has them and the neighboring city does not have them. But when you have elected leaders who are supposed to lead the people not wearing a mask, it's really hard to then tell John Q. Public, you need to have your mask on when the elected official
So what about Mayor Lori Lightfoot on that?
Well, listen,
Not the first time.
I have a lot of problems with Mayor Lori Lightfoot, especially how she has.
I can't believe that's her last name though. You're an Indian or something?
Not testing the students there. But it's worth pointing out that what's happening, the police department, like all the other city employees, have been asked to take the vaccine. Right? The educators in Chicago, 90% of them are vaccinated. And they turn in their vaccine cards, no problem. City employees, the same. She's also allowed that if you don't want to get the vaccine, if you do not want to turn in the vaccine card, you can test twice a week. So if you test twice a week, you don't have to turn in the vaccination card. What I can't fathom here is this. This is about making sure that we keep police officers safe and keep them working. When Officer Don reported that the #1 cause of death for police officers in 2021 and 2020 has been COVID-19, why would you not want to keep your police officers safe, which is the battle that she seems to be having with the head of the police.
Listen to Mayor Lori Lightfoot. This is what she said about police unions and insurrection.
Politicians are not authorized to strike. It's in their collective bargaining agreement, and it's a matter of state law. What we've seen from the Fraternal Order of Police, and particularly the leadership, is a lot of misinformation, a lot of half-truths, and frankly, flat-out lies in order to induce an insurrection.
And I imagine some of those officers that don't want to be vaccinated were frustrated that she goes to the basketball game and she doesn't have to wear a mask.
And she gets to live her life with armed security. Well, she tried to defund the police last year. She gets to do that. And now she's lecturing and telling these police officers essentially they're domestic terrorists who are trying to rise and create an insurrection because they happen to have a union that's standing up for their right of choice about whether they want to be vaccinated or not for whatever reason, natural immunity, they have some other condition, they just don't want the vaccine. But when you look at the way that politicians in general, like Lori Lightfoot, have handled this, and Joe Biden in particular, it can seem like, oh, well, it's just a mask that he didn't have when he walked out. But when you look at the videos of toddlers on airplanes getting kicked off with their parents and screaming, and when you look at kids sitting in school all day who are little, who have to wear that mask for 8 hours, it is infuriating to watch the President of the United States do this, and then the press secretary justify it and say, well, we don't really need to focus on that. There are consequences for this in D.C. There's a $1,000 fine if you don't comply. And if you're on Amtrak and you don't have your mask on, they can kick you off the train. And so, they can laugh about it, and I would argue that nobody should be wearing masks given the vaccination rate and the natural immunity. But if you're going to force other people to do it, you're going to throw kids off airplanes with their parents, they're just trying to see their families, then he should be leading and, take it away from everyone if that's the case.
Right, for a brief moment this morning, I thought, well, maybe with this hypocrisy on the mask, maybe they'll just decide that we can let it go and let it be people's choice if they want to wear a mask or not. But apparently that's not happening.
No, you've got to separate the power from the powerless, and the mask does that wonderfully. And why should Lori Lightfoot have to wear a mask and hide that beautiful smile? Because, she has so much to smile about. And to hide it, in my opinion, is a crime. I think when you're talking about the kids and everything like that, we are now in the
you just call her ugly, bro?
Phase where I had to go get a medical procedure on Friday, an endoscopy. It was required that the person driving me there and the person picking me up had to be either mandated a shot or a negative COVID, even if they didn't enter the building. That's insane, all right? But this isn't about the practical benefits of masking. It's about how the jackasses that relish reprimanding us do not follow their own protocols. That's why they got into politics, so they can create the laws that they are immune from. We hate line cutters. That's in our blood, our genetics, and people who scoff at laws that we follow. But when the line cutters are the people who control the line, that's war. I mean, that's the let 'em eat cake phase. This is when somebody is actually telling you the rules and violating them in front of you. On a smaller scale, it's like politicians who start wars, but their kids are immune from the draft. Yeah. It's like we create and enforce the laws that we are that we then mock. And we see this, and it's from from Ted Kennedy and Chappaquiddick to Hunter Biden with his guns, his crack. Political power is that safety net that keeps you from being arrested or being
nobody
in
don't
trouble,
give him no slack at all,
How was your procedure?
It went smooth.
Yeah.
That's what you want in that.
Yes,
Yeah, you want that to go well.
They went the little camera down there. They did find your class ring, Dana.
Oh.
Yeah, I apologize.
Small. I mean, it's small.
Yeah, the diamonds will be coming out later.
Okay, great. If you could just pick those out for me.
Yes.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our honest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
No, the more I listen to Fox, it's the weirdest shit seems like. It's more like a comedy show.
We just received a statement from President George W. Bush. It says, Laura and I are deeply saddened by the death of Colin Powell. He was a great public servant, starting with his time as a soldier during Vietnam. Many presidents relied on General Powell's counsel and experience. He was National Security Advisor under President Reagan, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under my father and President Clinton, and Secretary of State during my administration. He was such a favorite of presidents that he earned the Presidential Medal of Freedom twice. He was highly respected at home and abroad, and most important, Colin was a family man and a friend. Laura and I send Alma and their children our sincere condolences as they remember the life of a great man.
Yeah, he had 3 kids, and he survived by his wife since he married in 1962. And he was the first cabinet secretary that George W. Bush named, and that is a fact that Dana Perino knows well. She is getting set to host America's Newsroom in 23 minutes, but joins us now because she served in that same administration. Dana, this is stunning to all of us.
Yes.
I imagine especially you.
Yes, I've long admired him. I remember college during the Gulf War. I think, well, this man is very impressive. And then the fact that I actually got to meet him and work with him, work under him, really, as the Secretary of State, it is just remarkable. As Ainsley, as you were reading the statement and talking about his life in the previous segment, in the previous interview, you realize that this man was such a man of consequence and a consummate public servant, serving all of those years. And I was surprised to read he was 84. Because in many ways, to me, he was ageless. In addition to all of the amazing work that he did as a military leader. But one thing that people might not remember is he started an organization called America's Promise. And that really encouraged civic engagement and volunteer work. And there was a little red wagon logo. And my good friend Desiree Sale, who had worked for President George H.W. Bush, then worked in his office in correspondence. And he would tell me such amazing stories about him. And then fast forward, I remember as a deputy press secretary standing in the back of the room at the East Room one day, and there was I believe it's Karzai. Ahmed Karzai from Afghanistan was giving a speech. And I was standing in the back of the room, and Colin Powell just happened to be next to me. And I remember being very impressed by Ahmed Karzai's speech. And I said something to Colin Powell. I said, wow, he is very impressive. And Colin Powell gave me advice that I've lived with ever since. And he said, Dave, just beware of people who might be wannabe dictators who speak very good English. And that was so interesting, right? If you think about all of the leaders that we've seen come through the ranks that America likes to support, and then unfortunately it turns out to be somebody that you question in the end. I would also say that he was someone of great stature, right? The way that he conducted himself, I really commend his books to people out there, young people who are looking to learn about leadership. He really was a consummate professional and a public servant all the way through. And I did not realize until I read President Bush's statement that he had earned the Medal of Freedom twice. It's quite an accomplishment.
Dana, what can you tell us about the manding of your own personal experiences,
What up?
his relationship with President Bush at the time? What was that relationship like? How was he essentially behind the scenes?
Well, I think that in some ways that one of the great things about him, and the reason I think he was well liked by both sides of the aisle, is that he was very authentic. He loved America, and he wanted the best for America. Something that I do remember learning about, I wasn't there in the room for this, but at one point, talking about national security concerns and worries, both Condoleezza Rice and Colin Powell go to the Oval Office, and they talk to the president about HIV/AIDS and how it was devastating the continent of Africa, and that there was a generation of young people that could be orphaned as their parents were dying at a rapid rate, and that America had the capabilities and the means in order to get antiretroviral drugs to Africa, and how important it was, one, for national security, because all the societies end up, unfortunately, turning out people who turn radical and become terrorists, but also because it was the right thing to do. And as I worked on Decision Points, President Bush's book with him, that book tour, that was something I came back to a couple of times and thinking how meaningful it was for him and for Secretary Rice to go in, have the president say, yes, let's do it, and put the full backing of the United States into that. To me, that shows that he was, one, not only somebody who cared deeply about protecting America and America's power, but also figuring out a way to spread America's goodwill throughout the world where it mattered and where we could make a difference.
And think about his career path. So he has extremely high approval ratings. American people love him, want to know more, love his life story. And when 2000 comes up and the 2 terms of Bill Clinton are done, many people saying, are you going to run? He thought about it. Evidently, his wife played a major role, but he said, it's a calling I don't have. And then quickly endorsed 43. And he decided to run. Things would have, I couldn't see Governor Bush running.
That's distinctly possible. And if you go back, I'm sure that today, throughout the day, you'll maybe see one of these clips. He spoke at the Republican National Convention to incredible applause. And again, I think it's that authenticity, his generosity of spirit, but his commanding presence. Like, he was a commander. And he was able to lead people, and not only lead our troops, but as 43 says in his statement, Colin Powell was well respected all around the world by people, especially in the Middle East. And that made a big difference in order to be able to move forward. And he also was somebody who was willing to speak his mind. He had disagreements with President Bush at times, but because there was such great mutual respect between the two, then those conversations are ones that you can have and then make decisions on behalf of the American people from there.
You know, we've heard so many stories. Robert Charles told a story about how he made a mistake and he was in his office and he apologized for it, talked about the mistake he had made, and then he was walking out of the room and he turned around to apologize again, and Colin Powell said, "It's over. I've forgotten it already. We're done with that." And when you read these 13 rules for life that he wrote in his book, he does say, get mad, then get over it. There are always going to be days when events or people push you to the edge. When you do lose your temper, don't lose control at the same time. People always remember the leader with the bad temper, and never in a good way. I mean, he truly believed attitude determines aptitude, doesn't he?
Well, I think back to President George H.W. Bush, who worked with Colin Powell during the Reagan administration when he was vice president, and then brings him in as his national security advisor, has this relationship with him ongoing, and they were of similar temperament and learned from each other. And I think that your relationships are really forged in fire when you are under pressure,
when a nation is under threat, when you have a national goal that you're trying to accomplish, especially one as complicated as building a coalition of the willing, both in the Gulf War and then subsequently in the Iraq War and Afghan War after 9/11. I think it will be also very interesting to go back today and reflect on his very personal reaction on 9/11 and the way he led the nation after that, as a part of that team, that part of the president's cabinet. That also shows somebody who had just a real understanding of America. He graduated top of his class in his ROTC school. He was injured in Vietnam. You think about the scope of his life. Then you look back and you realize, I was just surprised when I read that he was 84. Again, to me, it felt a little bit ageless and timeless. But those 13 rules that he wrote are so important for all of us to remember. And they are not just applicable to somebody who is wanting to be a military leader. They're really good for all of us.
Dana, you mentioned just a moment ago the statement that Ainsley read from George W. Bush. Let's revisit that statement from the former president. He said, "Laura and I are deeply saddened by the death of Colin Powell. He was a great public servant, starting with his time as a soldier during Vietnam. Many presidents relied on General Powell's counsel and experience. He was National Security Advisor under President Reagan, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under my father and President Clinton, and Secretary of State during my administration. He was such a favorite of presidents that he earned the Presidential Medal of Freedom twice. He was highly respected at home and abroad. And most important, Colin was a family man and a friend. Laura and I send Alma and their children our sincere condolences as they remember the life of a great man." Dana, why do you think so many... I'm sorry, Dana, you're gonna be up in about 14 minutes. We're gonna let you get ready for your show.
All right, thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
The perfect podcast is out there. With over 2 million of today's most talked about podcasts available, Spotify is the best place to find the one you love. Whatever you're into, get more into it with a podcast. Find the one you've been listening for right now, free on Spotify.
Well, there's a stiff competition going on right now for the title of the Biden regime's most stupid and most self-defeating policy. Was it saying to the Taliban, you know what, we don't need to control all of Kabul, we'll just keep the airport, you take the rest? Was it paying people to stay home and then wondering why businesses can't find workers and the jobs reports get worse and worse? Was it defunding the police and seeing violent crime rise out of control? Unleashing crazy government spending and seeing inflation rise out of control? Opening the sub-border and seeing illegal immigration rise out of control? They're all strong contenders. But tonight I'm going to make a case that their most stupid and most self-defeating policy is Biden's war on energy. To be fair, he did warn us.
Get rid of fossil fuels.
He wasn't kidding. As soon as he went into office, Biden stopped new oil and gas leases on public lands, cancelled the Keystone Pipeline, and announced the reimposition of the red tape that handcuffed our energy supplies before Trump got rid of it. They keep talking about wind power. It doesn't help much if you have a, quote, windless summer like they just had in the UK. They want solar power, even though it can't be economically stored, and the panels are made with carbon and slave labor from China. They're shutting down nuclear power, which is the most reliable carbon-free source of energy we've got. What's the entirely predictable result if you wage war on energy? The price goes up. So now we have gas prices at a 7-year high, energy costs pushing up overall inflation, and heating costs this winter predicted to jump as much as 54%. So, what are the geniuses in the Biden regime doing about this crisis they've created? In their giant spending bill, they want to take more money from American workers and give it in subsidies to rich Democrats in California to buy more Teslas so they can virtue signal about how green they are. Except, as a result of the Democrats' clampdown on oil and gas, we're now importing more oil from Saudi Arabia. And most insane of all, they're trying to fill the energy gap they created in the name of fighting climate change by begging OPEC to pump more oil. So they're against energy jobs in this country, but in favor of them in other countries. They want us to be more reliant on energy that's less reliable, and on dictators and despots, including Vladimir Putin. I thought they hated him. All the while, increasing fuel prices and carbon emissions. Can anyone make sense of this? Let's see if Larry Kudlow can. He is, of course, the host of Kudlow on the Fox Business Network, and he joins us now. All right, Larry, what is this about?
By the way, it's a real horse race on which is the dumbest policy. I mean, this thing's going to go on and on. It's a stock looking for a bottom in the chart. But look, there is, because of the Biden policies you we're discussing, there is now a shortage of fossil fuels. There's a shortage here in the U.S., but that shortage is global. And I'll give you probably the base case here. We were the swing producers. Under Trump, we were the swing producers, the U.S., of oil. And unfortunately now, under Biden, we're no longer the swing producer. The Saudis and OPEC Plus is. So we were pumping out 13 million barrels per day pre-pandemic. And since the pandemic, or as we've recovered, it has dropped to 11 million barrels a day. Despite the increase in economic demands, there has been no increase in the supply of oil. The same is true for natural gas. Look, the oil price tonight is trading at $83.05. I checked before I came on. That's double where it was roughly a year ago. Natural gas is $5.25. That's almost a double from where it was a year ago. And gasoline, which is driven by oil, is $3.31. It's not quite a double. So these are crazy policies. We have gone from the swing producer. We have gone from plentiful, relatively cheap oil and natural gas. Natural gas is the beauty of it all. Clean burning, relatively clean burning. We're no longer the cheap. They're not investing. Our guys aren't producing. Now, there was a story in the paper Saturday morning that Joe Biden has rediscovered frackers. Okay, someone must have told him that we can produce oil in the U.S. so he doesn't have to go to Saudi Arabia, hat in hand, or Russia for European natural gas. Someone probably told him. Whether it was they told him directly or through a memo, I can't verify that. I've been out of the White House for quite a while. But maybe he's now going to go to our oil companies and natural gas and say, go ahead, produce, because high prices are damaging the middle class. High prices are part of the problem of rising inflation. Maybe. I don't know that this is going to happen. I'm just saying that was the headline.
Very interesting. You know what? I love that. You laid it out so clearly, Larry. And the thing that I always remember, when you were in the White House and you talked about the economic situation and all those pro-growth policies, the thing I always noticed was that you always put energy in there, ending the war on energy. You always said it. And because you understand that it's the foundation. It's not some separate part of economic policy. It's the foundation of a great, successful economy. And you made it happen when you were there, and like with everything else, they've gone into reverse, and it's a disaster. Anyway, we've got to leave it there, Larry.
It's a national.
It was...
All right.
Go on. Quickly, go on.
No, I was going to say, it's a national security issue, and it's an economic issue.
Yes, exactly.
But one other positive thing here. Joe Manchin, I think, is forcing Biden to take out a big chunk of the Green New Deal in this crazy budget resolution. I think he's going to win that battle. And there's a revolt. So at some point, I think we're going to go back to being the swing producer. But the more Biden fights this, and the more the crazies on the left fight it, the worse American economy is going to be, and the worse our national security position is going to be.
Exactly right. I'm glad I let you get that in there. Very important point, both on the national security front and on Joe Manchin. Larry, as always, fantastic to see you.
I'm Steve Ducey. I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
Your arm has never been more powerful. It can save lives, lift your community. You have the power to finish this. Vaccination appointments are available today, so get yours and get us back to us. Find the vaccine at pa.gov/COVID. Pay for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Let's bring in former Governor of Arkansas, Mike Huckabee. Governor, good morning to you. Always good to see you. Sunday morning. Not the best of news to start with you today. Let's spin it forward if we might. You heard President Joe Biden there talking about giving new resources to police officers. It's a stark contrast to what we heard over the past, what's it been, 18 months, where we've heard his entire party, including Joe Biden, talk about the concept of defunding the police. So I don't know how much credibility we can give the message, but I also know how much persuasion or sway he has over his party, Governor.
Well, I don't think he has a whole lot of sway over his party. They're having a lot of sway over him. He was elected because they said he was a moderate. Well, he's been anything but. Now, I don't know who wrote that speech for him. I'm very sure he did not write it. I'm not sure he understood what he was saying. I'm glad he said it. Whoever wrote it ought to be given at least some commendation for having some common sense to recognize that we don't need fewer police. We need to respect the ones we have. If anything, instead of defund, we need to defend the police. And I'm glad for that message. But let's hope there's something behind it other than just the words at a ceremony, because otherwise we're going to keep losing cops, and we're also going to keep losing our safety and our freedom.
You know, Governor, there's so much about that whole scene that we saw with President Joe Biden that I didn't like, starting with the fact that he had his sunglasses on during that. For some reason, I didn't like it. But I also think that the police officers aren't buying it. I mean, there's a reason why the National Fraternal Order of Police endorsed Joe Biden's opponent, Donald Trump. I think these are people whose jobs, I mean, it's life and death. They know who has their back, whether it's the Border Patrol or, you know, the police officer on the beat here in New York or anywhere across the country. We were talking earlier, Governor, the only time we really saw this overflowing love of our law enforcement from our leaders in the Democrat Party, including Joe Biden, was when they could use the Capitol Police to advance this message on January 6th that somehow everybody was, you know, an insurrectionist and they needed to play this up. That's the most love I've seen. Other than that, it's been, you know, defund and reinventing or reimagining law enforcement.
Rachel, let's not forget that it wasn't that many days ago that Joe Biden, in a rather unscripted moment at the White House, talked about how he was going to hold accountable those Border Patrol agents who were simply doing their jobs at the border on horseback. Now, that was an unscripted moment. That's when it's just Joe Biden speaking from his heart or his head or from wherever he's speaking at that particular moment. But that really was the true Joe Biden coming out there, where he basically threw his own agents under the horse. And that was disgusting. You really got a real good picture of what he thought about police officers versus illegal immigrants illegally crossing the border and trying to rush against the law enforcement of our country. So let's ask the real Joe Biden to stand up. Let him trot out there in front of the podium at the White House and answer unscripted questions to the reporters who are assembled there, and then we'll find out what he thinks.
Yeah, he's not doing that, so we won't hold our breath, but it would be interesting if he actually did. You know, you mentioned the radical policies, Governor. Radical policies come from radical people with radical backgrounds, and the White House has shown a willingness to continue to advance those types of people. Two examples. First is, I don't even know how to pronounce the name, Saul Amarov, I believe, is proposed to be the new comptroller of the currency. And then you've got the new pick to lead up border security as well. Here's what Sauli Omarov, who would be in charge of our currency, said in a tweet in 2019. Until I came to the U.S., I couldn't imagine things like gender pay gaps still existed in today's world. Say what you want about the old USSR, the Soviet Union, but there was no gender pay gap. Market doesn't always know best. Also, a graduate of Moscow University, Moscow State University, also wrote a thesis there about Marxism as well, which they're trying to get unsealed, but they haven't been able to get it. And here's a quote on the Border Patrol chief. This is an op-ed by Chris Magnus. It said, "A police chief here."